Dr. Dre is in full effect, and I gotta tell y'all a little something. Eazy-E is down with us. MC Ring, you know he's down with us. DJ Yella is down with us. Arabian Prince, you know he's down with us. Tony A the Wizard is down with us. JJ Fag is down with us. Timmy T, you know he's down with us. DJ Pooh Boy is down with us. Toddy B and Spade, they're down with us. My boy Ice Cube, you know he's down with us. I like to mention, so pay attention to where I'm from, Compton, but the tapes are from the Rodium. My name is Dre, listen while I play. And by the way, I'm also down with NWA. Yo, Steve at the Rodium is down with us. Slanging funky tapes, it is a must. We're number one.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rodium Radio episode 12. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm very excited about today's guest. But before we get into it, I want to start off with two quotes. The first quote that I want to start off with is, if you don't toot your own horn, don't complain that there's no music. My second quote goes like this: promote yourself until it pays off. I said that to say this, that not only do I promote this, if you will, podcast, live stream podcast, Rodium Radio, but I also promote my city and the cities around it, which is what we call the harbor area. Now, why am I promoting the harbor area? Simply this: the greatest, or if I should say, the most popular or the most famous rapper in the world today came out of the harbor area, and that would be Snoop Dogg from the city of Long Beach. One of the greatest tattoo artists comes out of the city of San Pedro, which is Mr. Cartoon from the harbor area. One of the most famous pop lockers in the world came out of the city of Wilmington, which would be Boogaloo Shrimp, Michael Chambers, Turbo from Breaking. Okay, where gangster rap was created in the city of Old Torrance, which is the harbor area, by Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, the whole NWA camp. It was created in Audio Achievements. The mixtapes were created or sold in Gardena at the Rodium Swami, which is the home of the West Coast mixtape. That is the home of the West Coast mixtape once again. The founder, if you will, of Uncle Jam's Army is from the city of Harbor City, went to Narbonne High School. He is the founder of Uncle Jam's Army. So much talent has come out of this area that I like to shed a little bit of light, because nobody else does. Once again, this is the harbor area. And as for me, I never go around tooting my own horn or bragging. But I will say this: in the late 90s, late 80s, if I should say, 1987, I began doing Rodium mixtapes for a Japanese vendor by the name of Steve YANO, who came out of the city of Whittier. I did mixtapes for him that featured Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, JJ Fad, MC Ren, DJ Quick, High C, Young MC, Tone Loc, etc. Can nobody else say that or take that away from me? That was an opportunity that was given to me by a man named Steve YANO. So that is part of my history. And I too come out of the harbor area from the city of Wilmington. Now my next guest come from the same area, harbor area, the city of Carson. So without further ado, allow me to introduce my brothers, Daz and DJ Tricks, Spanish Fly. So how you guys doing, man?
Good, bro. Just happy to be here, man.
So Tony A.
Yes. Daz, I want to start with you first.
Yeah.
First of all, why do they call you Daz? Because most people today that don't know you,
right,
here's what they think. He stole that name from
right,
Daz, Corrupt, or whatever. So
right,
if you can explain that first.
Yeah, for sure. Born with it.
Okay.
David Arellano Zamora. So
say it a little bit louder, bro.
David Arellano Zamora.
So D-A-Z.
D-A-Z, Daz.
And how long has they been calling you that?
80s.
Okay,
late
from the
80s. Late 80s,
okay,
yeah.
And DJ Tricks, how did that come about?
I don't know, man. Just I used to always mess around, play jokes on people. Then the DJ skills, it just kind of stuck, man. You know,
Okay.
tricks, and just went with it since then.
Okay. Now, before we get into Spanish Fly, before we get into the actual documentary, before we get into Essa Rich Rock, Soy Eating with the Bullet, I usually just like to ask my guests a little bit of their background, what shaped and molded them to who they are today. In your household, you growing up, what city did you grow up in?
City of Carson.
City of Carson. Now, were you born and raised there?
Yeah, I was born and raised there. For a little bit, we lived in Wilmington.
Okay.
Being a kid,
okay.
but most of my young years, I was in Carson.
Okay. Well, it's just like me. I lived in Compton until I was about 9 years old, and I was pretty much raised here. I'm 51 now, so
Right.
you could say over 40 years I've been here. So, and you, Frank?
I was born and raised in San Pedro. My dad bought a house in Carson, I believe, in '83. So we moved to Carson, and that's where I met these guys at. My parents are originally from Wilmington.
Okay.
They grew up in Wilmington and met there, went to Banning, and yeah, just all
Okay.
around the harbor.
Okay. What elementary school did you attend?
Dolores Street School.
And junior high?
No, it was elementary.
No, but from elementary.
Oh,
junior
middle
high,
school, Carnegie.
Carnegie.
Yeah.
And what about high school?
Carson,
Carson. What year did you graduate?
92.
92. See, I was supposed to graduate in 86, but never made it that far, man. And what about you, Frank?
I went to Barton Hill in San Pedro, and then when we had moved, lived at my grandma's for a year, went to Hawaiian Avenue on the west side of Wilmington. Then Dolores, where this guy went, and went to Carnegie, went to Banning High School for a year, right here in Wilmington, and then Carson High.
So and I heard you talking earlier that you were going to Banning and you were going to get beat up or something like that. What happened with that?
Yeah, man, it was, I don't even remember, man. It just, this is when the electro rap was big.
Okay.
And we were DJing, and the Cholo stuff started coming out. You remember in the late 80s? And,
Gang was at like all-time high.
oh, man, it was crazy. And, I wasn't from Wilmington, so I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
Chill attraction stuff.
So, David, growing up in your home, in your household, with your mother and your father, what type of music would your mother play or your father play? What type of music did you grow up with?
Well, my mom and dad, they listen to a lot of mariachi.
Okay.
Mariachi music, Juan Gabriel. My brothers, that was a big influence. They played Beatles.
Okay.
From the Beatles. A lot of classic rock. Some oldies, but mostly classic rock in Spanish. Like I said, Luis Miguel too was played a lot.
Okay.
Jose
Like
Alfredo
Juan Gabriel
Jimenez.
was huge,
Yeah.
according for my mom. But
Right.
so you mentioned brothers. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
There's 5 of us total. 2 brothers, 2 sisters.
And you're the baby?
I'm the baby. They went to Banning actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're older, bro.
So did they live here in Wilmington?
Yeah, well, my parents got here from TJ.
Uh-huh.
I think my sister was like maybe 16.
Okay.
So she went to Banning.
All right.
And then they all went to Banning. I think me and my younger sister went to Carson.
Okay.
They went to Banning. Yeah.
And what part of Mexico are your mom and dad from?
Purépero, Michoacán.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
They're from there, then they moved to Tijuana.
Tijuana, same thing. My parents were from Torreon. From Torreon, they went to TJ. Then they came to Compton. And what type of music did your mother and your father play as you were growing up?
Well, Tony, it was a music household. So my dad played in bands. I think he made his first record in 1980. So
Really?
he played with a band Mezcal, and they were playing with groups like Pancho Sanchez, Dieta, Malo, War. And then my mom, she used to play, Pink Floyd and
Wow.
Rapper's Delight. This is like, late 70s. And I remember even my dad chilling right there in the living room
Yeah,
with Bretton
yeah.
Woods, smoking joints. And
That's real.
so, it was always music, man, around. And,
Right.
and, my dad bought me like a piano and drums when I was a little kid, but it wasn't until, the turntables.
What type of instrument did your dad play?
He's a percussionist, plays congas, timbales, sings. He
Okay.
plays with the Topics right here from Wilmington, Pedro. And
Oh, so he still plays?
still playing it to this day, still doing recordings. And
Wow. Now that you're into music, like how was your relationship with him? Do you guys ever collab on anything?
yeah,
or-
we actually, we do, man. It's been good. It's been good. We worked on some stuff, trying to get some stuff out, but a slow process.
Okay.
And, he got, my dad's I think 66 now, so.
Wow.
So he's retired, so he's got time now to.
Yeah.
He still plays every weekend though, so it's been an inspiration. My mom too. All the music. My mom really got me in all the top 40, the
Okay.
Beatles, and all that stuff, man. This guy
Okay.
used to be at my house.
Yeah.
I remember
Okay.
we always
All the
listen to
time.
music.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I actually only got 2 sisters.
Okay,
Younger
so you're
sisters.
the only man.
Yeah, young guy.
You're the boy.
Only guy.
Okay, and are you the baby?
Oldest.
Oh, okay. You're the oldest. You're the protector of your sisters.
Yes.
That's the way you should be. That's the way. See, I got 5 brothers, 4 sisters. So all my 5 brothers, I have 4 of them are older, 1 of them is younger, but all of them were like big bully guys. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was like the total opposite. I never worked out until like a couple of years ago. You know?
Right.
So now in high school, did you play any sports?
Nah, not really. A little bit of soccer, but like not at Carson High. Nah. We didn't have a soccer team, bro.
No, at Carson they didn't.
Later they were gonna make one, yeah. But
Okay. Now, okay, you know what? Now let me ask you an interesting question. When you were going to Carson, what was the, if you will, the ethnicities that were attending at that time? Because when I went to Bannon, it was blacks, whites, Mexicans, Filipinos, Samoans.
Yeah.
You know, that's what made our football team great.
Right.
You know, in the 80s. So when you went, what was it? You know,
diverse, man.
Diverse?
Everything, yeah, blacks, a lot of Samoan,
Yeah.
Mexican, Filipino, but the football team was pretty good.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you Frank, did you play any sports at all?
I did baseball when I was a little kid, but it was always music.
No high school sports, no nothing like that?
Nah, it's just not at Carson High, man. It was dominated over there.
Yeah.
I think when we went there, the football team won every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it'd be good.
Bannon and Carson will always
going
ride
back
football.
at it, yeah.
You remember that?
I mean, it goes back since the 80s, you know. And I think that's what made the Harbor area, believe it or not, also very famous.
Right.
You know, and also
Right.
Long Beach Poly.
Right.
You know. But anyways, so what made, when were you first introduced? Because I know you DJ and I know you produce now. But if I'm correct, you started out as a DJ, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who was it that you saw, heard, or what motivated you to do, as far as a youngster, to start DJing?
DJing, Frank introduced me to a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
And you,
Okay.
Tony A. You know?
See, I didn't know that. So
Yeah. I mean, I used to look up to you, man. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
He said used to.
Nah, I still do. Nah, I still do, bro.
Right.
You know,
No.
so respect. But
Yeah.
and then San Marica and all that. Just hearing all them parties back
Okay.
then, and you and the classic battles, DJ 1-on-1 versus Tony A, all that kind of stuff. And Frank was a big part too.
You know, I've been trying to get a hold of that guy,
Raul?
Raul, DJ 1-on-1, DJ Raw. He gives himself like so many different names now. I know he's from Carson, and I know he moved out to San Pedro. I think he
Right.
still lives there.
Right.
Yeah.
I caught up with him last year on Instagram, and I think it was like in October. And I said, "Hey man, let's talk." And here's what he told me: "Let's wait till after the holidays." And I'm like, "But you could just call me right now," you know.
Bro,
so,
yeah.
but he didn't, and it's been a year, and we still haven't caught up.
He was not one thing. He was cool, man. I remember when I met him one time, and I went in Carson. He lived in Carson.
Okay.
And I went to his pad. He was showing me cuts.
Oh
That
wow!
was crazy.
Now, Frank, let me ask you a question. Would you say that at that time Raul was like the thing or the man of Carson?
Yeah, Raul Gonzalez. He goes by 6 Block now. I would say it was Joe Cooley from Long Beach.
Okay.
And you were up there.
You mean from the city of Compton?
Oh yeah. And then LAJ.
Okay.
John Batista was up there, and then Raul. He was definitely
Okay.
up there, man. He was definitely.
See,
up
I got
there.
a story that I want to share with John Batista, but he'll never come on this show because a lot of people have this concept of him, and he's the homie. But one day he calls me and he says, "Can you show me how to turn my turntables on? Can you show me how to scratch? Can you show me how to blend?" And you do that for certain people,
Yeah.
and then you kind of go on and they never remember you or shout your name out.
Yeah.
Those things happen. So, but we'll get into all that later. So, I know you DJ as well. Okay.
Yes.
Who did you see? What did you hear? Or who inspired you to
Right.
start picking up the ones and twos?
Man, let me see. Around 6th, 7th grade, I wanted turntables badly. This is around when Jam Master Jay was like Run DMC, the big influence from New York, and Egyptian Lover, man. Shout out to Egyptian Lover when he made What Is a DJ.
Of course.
I was like, man, that's what I want to do. And then I was about 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and Big John's Hall was a place in Carson, a venue
Yes.
in Carson where Uncle Jam's Army was there. I seen LA Dream Team there, Knights of the Turntable. Shout out to Knights of the Turntable from Carson. They were there.
Yeah.
And these guys were like major influences early because I
Yeah.
seen them with drum machines and echo chambers. And
Yes.
I was just like, man, then you guys Split Image. And I just
Yeah.
remember just like, I was like, man, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I want to be up there. I want to scratch the record my way, and it was just, it was big. It was big. Hip hop was so competitive.
Yes.
And that's how we took it over into the, the hip hop, Chicano rap, whatever it is. And it was just, man, it was like a dream.
Yeah,
Hip hop
yeah.
was so beautiful back then.
It's funny because back then, every DJ had their own style, their own scratch.
Yes.
And I remember people tell me, how did you come up with that scratch? I used to always, the best example that I can give them was, if you can hear it here, you can do it here.
Right.
It's almost, you have to hear it, And today, the sad thing is, it's almost kind of like the mumble rap. Everybody sounds the same. The music sounds the same. And all the DJs sound the same because all they're doing is flickering their fingers and making UFO noises.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's really, everybody has the same style now.
Right.
So what would you say, about what age did you get your first turntables?
Oh, man. Taking me back. How old was I? Maybe.
Would you say still teenagers, early 20s?
Yeah, that was like maybe 18, 19.
Now, were they 1200s?
They were 1200s.
Techniques?
What happened was I wanted the techniques. I think you had them already. I used to go to Frank's house. He had the techniques all nice, man. I remember seeing them. You had the coffin, too. He had the coffin, the mixer, and I wanted those. And they were a grip. So my brother-in-law, remember the recycler? It was
of course, the magazine, the recycler.
I looked in the recycler. My older brother was like, hey, you find them, I'll take you.
Okay.
So I found them. I forgot what I paid. Maybe like, I don't know, 500.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got them. I still have them to this day.
5 for both?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I paid 5 or 6 or something.
Okay. And around, how old were you when you first got your turntables?
I think my dad had bought them for me in '86. So I must have been around 15 for those, but I got some Marantz when I was like 14, 13.
Okay.
Just to see if it's, my dad ain't going to go spend.
Right.
They were like $349 back then,
right.
The 1200s.
People have to understand that Technique 1200s were like the holy grail turntables, man.
I save my money for those.
I mean, it's like a car, bro. You clean them and blow on them, make sure you lick the needle and everything. Okay. Hope you guys were DJing. At what point, because I know you guys pretty much grew up together, did you guys meet, or how did you meet S.A. Rich Rock?
Man, you're taking me back, and I forget a lot of shit.
Right.
But, because Rich Rock lived kind of like down the street from me. Mm-hmm. It's like a dead-end street.
City of Carson, correct.
I lived on Neptune Avenue, and his was, what was the street? Down Street.
Marbella
Mob. He had this little clique, Marbella Mob. But anyway, he lived on Marbella, dead-end street. We used to walk to school through there. But, so I want to say I met Rich probably middle school, man.
Yeah, definitely.
If it wasn't 6th grade, it was probably like when I was going to Carnegie.
Okay.
Carnegie Middle School, so what?
No, you got same age?
7th grade. Yeah, he was like, maybe he's around my age.
Okay.
He's either my age or a year older than me. So he's around there.
And Frank?
Well, I was doing music already, like, turntables, recording on cassette with some guy, Marcus, and Robin and Matthew, Cutfather now. They ended up moving to Seattle, Samoan guys.
Okay.
And Shoutouts Zulu Nation. They are all into all the Zulu Nation. I was back then, African Mabata and all that, and they was like, "You want to be down with Zulu Nation?" I'm like, "Yeah, what is that?"
You say, "Yeah, what is that?"
It was hip hop. It was Big John's Hall at the time, and Samarica and all this stuff, man. Uncle Jam's Army, and so we had this crew and Super Def Creators. That's what we were called, and we thought we were all that, and trying to make demos. Delamo Mall in Torrance used to have a studio by the arcade. And we made a demo over there in '86, and then Rich Rock came to Carnegie in 7th grade, and these other guys are like, he's the baddest, and he's battling black guys over there and beating them. And
really?
And I said, what? You can't. And then my boy battled. He ended up beating my boy. And then I said, hey, man, let's make a demo, man. He was in 7th and I was in 8th. So he came over and we just started.
Was he freestyling or songs that he had already written?
He writ them.
Okay.
Stuff he writ down. Like he'd have this style like Asian, Nation, Asian Nation. He'd rap like that, like rhyming every word. And I was like, okay, all right. I don't really like it, but all right.
Right.
And I said, hey, why don't you make a song like this, ABCs? And he did like the ABC rap.
Right.
Where he rhymed like all the letters, like,
all the alphabet.
All the alphabet. I go, damn, this guy got talent, man.
Yeah.
And we just started making demos in '86. Started sending them out Macola, JDC Records, Egyptian Empire.
And at this time, it was just you and him?
Yeah, me and him. This is like when Run DMC were big. LL Cool J. Richard used to think he was LL Cool J. He put on the radio album and stand on his bed and do the whole album.
Wow.
Like, he actually thought he was, LL or Run or something.
When you say that, I remember the Red La Tigra.
Yeah, definitely.
And gray chords.
Gray chords, yeah.
And the fucking, I think it was, if it wasn't Adidas, it was those Elise. With the tongue hanging out, bro.
Yeah.
And his brim hat.
Okay, see, that's how I remember him. That's where I met him. He was wearing
straight hip hop,
like the brim hat. Okay, and I remember he had kind of like bigger hair, like kind of like curly hair a little bit, and he had his ears popping out.
Big old ears.
Okay, and I remember I saw him at San Marico Hall, and I thought he was dope. You know, he had the black brim hat, the white shirt, and I forgot what shoes, but he had some black pants, possibly some Dickie pants. But I hooked up with him, and I told him I want to work with you. You know, all I had to offer was just a 4-track because I was doing the mixtapes at the time. Okay, this was actually before I actually hooked up with High C at the Rodium. Okay, and I was bringing him over. I was riding my Schwinn Beach Cruiser all the way to Carson, picking him up on the cruiser, you know, on the handlebars, riding him back. And then I had just gotten the Ultimate Breaks and Beats. So I just had instrumentals and we were kind of going back and forth. So after maybe like 4 or 5 sessions of that, that's when NWA had went on tour. So we had nobody to rap on my mixtapes anymore. So I asked Steve, I want to get this guy. And he goes, well, let's try out the other guy first, which was High C. So it was either going to be Rich Rock or High C. And Steve decided to go with High C because he sounded more like Easy.
Yeah, you got that voice.
So that's what we did. But okay, so around what time or when did you guys come together to form Spanish Fly?
When was that, man?
So, because what you're saying is that you and Rich Rock are already together. Okay, now let me ask you this: when did Daz become a part of the group?
Well, me and Daz were DJing for years, man. We was like best friends, you know. Okay. And Rich Rock was the rapper.
Attractions.
Yeah. So we had like a KRS-One style. Rich Rock was like could probably do some of his raps, but I won't do that. He was more like a educated type rapper. Right. And really good, man. Like I said, battling people, man.
You know,
killing it.
Can you give us like a 4-bar verse? Just a 4-bar verse.
Or Rhyming Detective. He had this one called Rhyming Detective, bro.
Okay.
Damn.
Give us like a 4-bar. Just give the people an idea.
I'll give you one he did in 13 years old when I told him, because I was producing a lot of stuff for him. So I tell him, hey, you know, let's do a song about this. The ABCs, for instance, and the letter R, he said every letter. So you can't use and, it, but, or none of that. It was just, so the R was Rich Rock's a reckless rhymer, radio's a reminder, relish, removal, rock and roll, resigner. I reverse, retire, retreat, and rehire. Rely on Rich Rock, respect, raps, relier.
Oh,
and that was just the R, and every letter was like that. Wow. And I was like, man, so
wow.
See, we couldn't get a deal, man.
See, the reason why I have to bring that out is because most people just think that it's just 18 with the bullet.
Nah, not even.
You know, so it's more than that. And, and it's important for the public to see that, because when they think Spanish Fly, they just think that, and they should, but that's only a part of it.
Right.
It's only a part of it. So, so now, did you guys have another name before the name Spanish Fly?
No, we just went by our names, DJ names, Rich Rock.
Yeah. Okay. Now, who came up with the name Spanish Fly?
Man, that's I just remember. I don't.
We were like all in the room together.
You remember that? I remember being in the room, and then, but I can't say like, oh, I don't know.
I think I remember we were toying with the idea of being MWA.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something we had talked about, MWA, like Mexicans with attitude, but nah, thank God we didn't do that. Even though it had probably been good, but the Fly stuck because it stood for Foolish Local Youngster.
Okay.
I remember that. Can
you say that again so people can hear you?
The Fly, Spanish Fly was Foolish Local Youngster.
Okay.
And once we like all came up with what can Fly stand for, we had all kind of things.
Yeah, I remember one that I remember when we were talking about that, discussing it, was the Fools Lighting Yesca.
Fools Lighting Yesca.
See, now that makes sense. Spanish, Fools Lighting Yesca, whatever, or the other name that you said. See, because when I think Spanish Fly, now, here's where I get a little bit perverted, because I'm in junior high, and one of my friends brings a porn magazine, and we see Spanish Fly, and it had a question: do you want to get a girl horny?
Yeah.
That's what it said. Yeah. So the Spanish Fly, you put it in her drink, gets a girl horny, you get laid. Okay, but now you don't need that. You just need
that might have been part of the idea.
So
that might have been part of the idea, but it was actually Fly meant like dope or fresh.
Fly,
so in Spanish, these guys are fly.
Like
fly girl. It was a hip hop word.
But it's part of it though, because you know that's an aphrodisiac, right? It makes you feel some kind of way.
Right.
So double meaning.
Yeah, our music makes you feel some kind of way.
Okay. Okay. So now you guys are working together. You're doing the beats. And if I'm correct, you're being the DJ. Well, both of you guys are actually the DJs. Now, at this time, was there anybody else involved in this group other than just you three?
I mean, we had friends over with us, but it was most likely us.
Predominantly you three guys. Okay.
Just us, yeah.
And so now, how many songs, demos have you guys done before Soy 18 with the Bullet was released? Did you guys have multiple stuff? Did you guys release it on the streets?
Yep.
How did you guys get known on the streets as far as passing out demos? How did you guys do that? Or
It's got around, huh?
Yeah, as far as the Spanish Fly stuff, the stuff with the 18 with the Bullet, or the
or just before, prior?
Remember, we had a demo. We had demo tape everywhere, man. People were calling us from Riverside and saying, we want to sign you guys. And that tape, that's the tape actually in 91 we sent to Virgin Records, Capitol Records.
With the 4-track?
We even gave Steve one. His wife. We gave his wife one.
Okay, Susan. Okay.
And that tape was going everywhere.
Now, do you remember, if you don't remember, kind of give me a ballpark figure on a year.
It'd be 90.
Okay.
For that tape, because by 91 we were already in the studio.
Yeah, because 91 I think is when 18 with the Bullet came out.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, 91.
Okay.
So.
But it obviously it was done.
Yeah.
Before
late 80s. We're working on
demo tape.
Okay.
It was a demo tape in 90.
So
that tape was everywhere. I remember one day I was in continuation, and this
89,
Cholo guy
90.
came in and threw the tape in on the radio. I go, where'd you get that tape? He goes, from a G-Ride from Harbor City. And I was like, check this out. I got the updated version. Yeah. So that tape was going everywhere, man. That's kind of how... it's kind of how our style was getting out. I thought, you know, because we had this is like 10 songs on there. It ain't just 18.
It was a whole
album. It's right. It's all and these were cassettes.
Cassette tapes, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You know, it's funny because I had somewhat of a similar story, except Steve was selling them at the swap meet. You know, and it was only like one song, and we didn't think it was ever going to do anything. You know, but. Like the High C album was actually done in 1990, but because they were waiting for the right time, it didn't come out till December 1991. But it was actually already a year old.
Right.
Yeah. Because I was at Carson and everyone had the tape. I mean, they were bumping it.
Yeah, you were still in high school when it came out.
Okay.
And I had just exited. Yeah.
And so that song, So 18 with the Bullet. It is such a slow type of beat that it was funny because I didn't think anybody can rap to that beat.
No, you're right.
You know, because I remember when I first heard it, I actually thought in the very beginning he was talking, like going to introduce, and that was the style that he used for the whole thing. But you know what? It worked. A lot of people dug it.
Right.
A lot of people dug it. Now, when you guys first heard it, did you guys think it would be your first single?
I think another one was Don't Let Anyone Get You Down, right?
Oh, yeah.
We kept trying. We were going to different studios, and it wasn't working out. We were having problems because we didn't have a sampler.
Okay.
Yep.
So we had to use what was there when we go to the studio, remember? And then finally we said, let's switch it up and do 18 with a Bullet.
Right.
And that was not going to be the first song we put out, but it worked out anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, real quickly, David, what record labels, if you can remember, were looking into you or were showing interest in signing you guys?
For the whole Spanish Fly, like Frank said, a lot of them were sent out. But I remember when, Murray from Familia Records telling me, you know,
say it a little bit louder.
Yeah, Murray from Familia. I remember he told me Eazy-E wanted to sign us.
Okay, Murray, that would be
Murray Brunfield.
Murray Brunfield. Yeah, okay,
that was after.
And do you recall anybody? Because I know you said you mentioned people from Riverside were calling.
Yeah, it was a couple guys from Riverside that I don't know if they knew people from Lighter Shade of Brown, or I think Lighter Shade of Brown barely had TJ Nights came out, the kind of like the club song. I'm not sure. I think they wanted to start an independent label.
Okay.
But around that time, we were already working with LAJ, John Batista, and he had some kind of contacts in New York with Mercury Records.
Okay.
Right.
And we were going to Jay's house, and remember we were doing the demos, and he was tightening them all up. He had an MPC and a Kai MPC, which is a sampler drum machine, and so we were going over there, and it seemed like he kept lagging, man. I'm like, and he's the one that actually pulled out the Lighter Shade of Brown record and goes, look, somebody beat you guys. They put a song out, and I was pissed. I was furious.
Yeah, I remember.
Because we wanted to be the first, Chicano rappers, man, and I said they heard our stuff, they copied. That's what of course, because it's hip hop, it's competitive, even though they probably never did. But being hip hop, it was real competitive. I thought, man, Jay, you need to hurry up and get on this guy to hurry. And I don't know if you remember LJ had gold records on the wall. He worked with Vanessa Williams, Tony.
Right.
And he was like, just hold off. He's going to put you guys out. He's going to put out Black Sheep, Spanish Fly, and some other guys. And we couldn't wait, man. Which ended up, Black Sheep did come out. That group Black Sheep. And, And yeah, we couldn't wait, man. We had to go anywhere we could, man, to put something out before it was too late.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little break and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the release date, the album, and we're going to talk about a question that everybody wants to know. Where is S.A. Rich Rock?
All right.
We good?
We good.
Okay.
Cool.
Once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Rodium Radio here with my brothers from the Harbor area, Spanish Fly. Give us about 10 minutes. We'll be right back and we're going to answer all your questions. Where is S.A. Rich Rock?
But it's kitty stuff, because your best ain't good enough. Then at attention, your body in line. This ain't your average rhyme, if it is, it ain't mine. Thus, Haskins, I'ma show them all. I'm not a joker, but I laugh, cause y'all can't brawl.
How you like me now? I'm getting busier. I'm double platinum, I'm watching you get dizzier. Slick Rick. Hey Tony, drop that. What, please? I bet.
My name is the Croft, the C-R-A-W-F-O-R-D, the poet high C. Tony A, the wizard, just as cool as a blizzard. Sticking out his tongue, stabbing pussy like a lizard. Ooh, so sorry, homie, I didn't mean to say that. Steve is in the house, come on, won't you play that funky dope beat? You know you gotta throw me some Stanless ass crop coming straight from the Rodium.
You are now about to witness
Tony A. Get funky.
Tell them where you from.
You don't think I'm living, well, fuck you. Who's on a Saturday night in LA? Yo, feeling kinda funky. Stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. What the hell are you looking for? Can a young man make money anymore? Where my dues are like freaking on the floor? Or is it my job to make sure I'm poor? Disruption, disorder, will nourish, not justify. Those that live at the FBI, look at mama's baby.
Check it out, right about now, Dr. Dre's on the wheels, and I'm about to cold tear shit up. Hey, yo, D, you got a level? D, hit record, man.
Get busy with Easy and Tony A on the 12 techniques. See?
Here's a little something about a nigga like me. They never should have 55 cents from me.
Yo, this is your main man, D.
You don't like Tony A or fuck.
I'm rocking shit out of the Rodium.
Houston, 1 2 1 2. Right about now, Easy E and Dr. Dre's in the motherfucking house.
Times are getting crazy, it's really hard to choose it. The Rodium's a spot to get funky, fresh music. Easy motherfucking E and my homeboy Dr. Dre. MC Ren is in effect, and you know we don't play. The Rodium is hitting, but you know you can't leave until you get a deaf-ass tape from Steve. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Yeah, man, I came all the way down to the Rodium swap meet, man, to pick up one of them NWA tapes, man. And I talked to homeboy Steve down there, man, and he said I'm fresh out of tapes, man. How the fuck you fresh out of tapes, man? He said cause they selling like hotcakes and shit, man.
Got my man going down.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?
Man, like the NWA and Eazy-E music hit the Rodium Swap Meet mixtapes first. Like when we dropped our records, man, it was like, it was cool putting your records out, but even though people knew who Dre was and I was and Cube and Yella before, they didn't really know who Eazy was. But not until, you know, Boys in the Hood and some of that, you know, Fat Girl and LA is the Place, that stuff hit the mixtapes, man. That's what kind of put it out there for people to know, like, what is this Eazy-E? What is this NWA thing? So I think it was like a big, big push.
The Rodium Swap Meet.
Yo, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Harbor area. There's a lot of rich history here. City of Wilmington, Carson, Long Beach, San Pedro, Torrance, Gardena, etc. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into it with Esadaz, DJ Tricks, Spanish Fly. 18 with the Bullet is recorded. Did you guys get picked up before you guys recorded it or after you guys recorded and then it was released? How did that work out?
The whole when the song got released.
Yeah, because I remember the single came out first before the album, correct?
Right.
Okay. Did you guys get signed first and then did the song, or did the song first and then got signed?
That was like a crazy.
Jump in, Frank, anytime.
Situation. Nah, because the way it went down with that was not like, oh, we got attorneys, we're gonna have the contract, we're gonna sign it. It ain't go down like that. You know what I mean? So, in a way, you can say,
speak up a
as far as being signed and all that kind of thing.
Okay, so are you trying to say that you guys didn't really have a deal?
We kind of had a deal, but it wasn't like totally official.
Okay,
let's just put it that way.
You could elaborate a little bit on that?
Basically, we had our demos already everywhere. And,
okay,
and we were desperate because, like I said, those other guys coming out. We heard.
Well, there was a lot of dudes.
Lighter Shade of Brown and Frost. I remember my dad said, "This guy he robbed you," even though he didn't rob us, but basically the style. It's like how when Eazy came out with Boys in the Hood, if someone sounded similar to him, people were gonna say he robbed you.
Right.
But so we were desperate, man, and we were just like we knew this guy, and he wanted to start a label. And
what guy was this? Do you remember?
It was you talking about Murray? He was a teacher at Carson High School.
Okay.
And he had a label back then called Kingswood Records. Kingswood. Yeah, yes. And I remember because his classroom was a class where, like, we could in the quad, if you wanted to listen to hip hop, he was playing hip hop.
Okay.
So all the youngsters were always in there.
Was this a gabacho? Black dude, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So his class was a hip class to go to because music was just playing.
Okay.
Hip hop and period.
Okay.
Whatever, right? So everyone was in there and. Yeah. We knew, he Kingswood Records, we knew he had a label, so he got our tape. We showed him, and he was just like, what the fuck? He was impressed, man.
Okay.
He was like, well, I'm gonna take you out to the studio tomorrow. And it was like that. Like he heard it, and he already knew what was happening, And so when it got to him, I think thinking back, he was smart, He was like, oh man, this is money.
Okay. Now, did he have any other artists before you guys?
No.
Nope.
Not as far as Latino, no.
Okay. And would you say it went down pretty much like that?
Yeah, we kind of were trying to build something. Spanish Fly.
Okay.
Familia Records.
So where did you guys end up recording that song at, or that whole album at?
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Paramount Studio in Hollywood.
Yeah. Okay. All of it?
Yeah, all of it.
Who put the money up for that?
Murray did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the deal? Do you guys remember what the deal was? How many points was he going to get, or?
I think we talked about it in the documentary.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, well, we'll get into that a little bit later, but just try to elaborate just a little bit, not to give too much away, so that people can watch the documentary, because few people do know that you guys do have a documentary, and we will push that.
Right.
But
well, I would say the way I say it is like shout out to Murray, because he put a lot of money in my pocket. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As far as points and all that, I can't. You can watch a documentary for that, but shout out to Murray.
Okay, I will say this, that a lot of us Latinos, bro, when we start off in this, we just want to record. We just want to get our stuff out there.
Right.
And it's usually, and I'm not saying that this happened to you guys, but it happened with me, that you trust.
Right.
And you don't really realize that you're getting robbed, or you're getting taken, or you're not getting your fair share, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll say this, and the reason I say he put money in our pocket, thinking back now, it probably wasn't what we should have got.
Okay.
Because you might even have other artists come later that were under him, and they'll tell you they made some money. Like, he would pay thousands for your projects. But thinking back about it, it's when you think about how much is sold and that,
right,
that's when you're like, damn. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I got because I could have made a whole lot more.
Right.
Doing it different.
Anything you want to add to that, Frank?
Yeah, he's pretty much covered it. I mean, we just say like sort of like Murray's the Jerry Haller of Chicano rap.
Okay, well,
I mean, he's the godfather of Chicano rap. I mean, other people want to claim it, but it was really fun.
And it happens to be a black guy.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Haller was a white guy or Jewish guy. So I mean, we were there and we did what we had to do. We got our name out, and we paid dues, but everything panned out now that it's it's the 2019 now, or 2020, whatever. Right. So it pans out.
Okay. It's funny because I remember when Steve had his he was still selling at the Rodium Swap Meet, and I remember he showed me the white single, and it had a picture of Essa Rich Rock on there.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me, I'm moving this shit. He told me, I'm selling the hell out of this shit. And I said, really? He didn't know that I knew you guys, but I said, really? He goes, yeah, I'm selling this one. And I was like, okay, but it did sell. Now, what the people want to say, I didn't like that song, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay? It was selling.
Right.
Now, let's talk about radio play.
Okay.
How did that work out? Did you guys ever see any radio play?
Nah, I mean, we did. I recall.
For that song at that time.
18 with a Bullet. I remember the year, and I don't remember how we got on there, but I remember they played us on 99.1.
Yep.
Right?
99.1.
And it was a make it or break it kind of thing. Now, I don't know who was working there at the time, but they staged our song. They were ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, they put it on, right? And then they were, I remember, you have the
I
tape,
got the
I
tape.
think. Blow the hell out of it, man.
Yeah.
But gunshots. And
right.
I was always kind of like, like, that's kinda
haters.
weird.
Right.
How's our song getting shot up? And I mean, they did a whole like stage for it. I mean, we got the tape, so that was the only radio play we got. So it was 99.1 that played it, but then they blew the hell out of it.
What was that radio station
It's
from?
kind of funny.
KGI. No, the beat played it too. I got that.
Oh, the beat played it
I got
too?
that snippet too.
But I remember
Okay.
that K9911.
Out of Riverside.
Yeah.
Okay, and who was it up against? Do you guys remember?
I don't think it was. I think it was a Make It and Break It.
It's like a Make It or Break It song.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't
They
up
didn't
against
put it up
another
against
song.
no
It was
one.
just people call in.
Yeah, make it or break it.
You know what? Let me tell you
But it
something.
was selling like hotcakes out there, so
Yeah, see, I don't understand.
know.
If you guys had fans, people were buying it, but the radio didn't like it. One thing, I told you guys this before we went live, that I can't see radio, Power 106, and I'm just going to say, Katie,
right.
being around another 10 years, bro. I just can't see it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, this is the future, and I encourage you guys and everyone out there to start up their own podcast, start up their own radio station, man.
Right.
Because you know what? Let's be honest. This bullshit that they play on the radio today, it just isn't music.
Right.
People may say you're just hating. Back then, we never used the word hating. We used the word jealous. We're not jealous of anything. We love hip hop,
right?
But this mumble bullshit that's out there right now is not hip hop. People say, "Well, music evolved." No, I don't think it evolved. I think it was changed on us. I think those people have the power to say, "We're just going to change music." Period.
Right.
And they just started throwing on these goofy bastards up there, and that's what we got. That's what we got.
It's funny.
And let me say this, okay? Us Latinos, okay, whether you're Mexican, Guatemalan, Honduran, Ecuador, whatever the case may be, we're all one. Okay.
Yeah.
I created this so that we can have a voice.
Yeah.
Okay. So that, because right now, let's be honest, in the Latino community, we really do not have a voice.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And when one of us starts to speak out, guess what happens? We have one of our own tries to shoot us down.
Right.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we wonder why no one has ever really climbed the ladder. And those that have made it somewhat to the top, they either shoot everybody down or they want all the spotlight to themselves.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's where we're at as far as the Latino community.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is this. I created this platform so that we can have a voice and that I can prepare, if you will, a foundation. So when I'm no longer here, the next generation now has a voice because a Tony a Spanish Fly, whoever created that lane for us to be seen, to finally be heard.
Yeah.
Because we are the majority here. We buy all the music.
Right.
We attend all the concerts.
Right.
We buy all the apparel.
Yeah.
And yet, we're still somewhat on the outskirts of this thing that we call hip hop.
I
Yeah,
agree.
no doubt.
You know, so forgive me for preaching, but
No,
I had
agree.
it in me and I had to say it.
You
and I'm
think
glad that
we
you guys
feel
are
it.
here for me to have said it. Now, I said that because of what you said. You got your song got shot down or whatever.
Yeah, got shot
I believe that was some radio bullshit. I think
Drive
they
by.
did it.
Probably
You know.
it seemed
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
So now, how long now was that song out before S.A. Rich Rock pretty much went ghost? Did you guys perform together?
Yeah, we did a show.
Few.
I think, and you had someone here, and they brought that up, and I remember being there. It was Citric.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Matter of fact, me and Shotgun hit it off at the when you were mentioning Shotgun and all that. I
Right.
was like, damn, I met that fool at a show.
Right.
We did a show out there up north. Frost
Okay.
was there too.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that show we rocked back then.
All right.
Yeah, and then I don't know after that.
Did you guys do a lot of shows? Did you guys get booked a lot? What was the deal with that?
It's kind of like the documentary. You got to kind of see that, but it kind of like
You
Frank,
kind
go ahead,
of
Frank.
say, like it's not really the music that would be appealing to play.
Okay.
At the moment, at that time, it was too
Yeah, it was a little
too dirty. I remember we went to Thump Records to talk to Bill Walker, and he said,
yeah.
No. This is too.
They
You guys
want
got to
it.
get out. This is too gangster.
Really?
Too street. We want Latino rappers that are not Latino that are that gangster.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That shit don't make sense.
So it was too. I mean, to do a song like 18 with a Bullet
How is a white guy, Bill Walker from Thump Records, going to try to tell a Latino how not to be a Latino?
Yeah, we want gangster rappers that are not gangster, even though we're like super gangster, but
just the music of it.
the music of it, the mentality of, shooting guns, and, it's something you don't really want to play at a car show.
Can you imagine somebody telling Dr. Dre, can you take out the word fuck and add luck?
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now, here is something that's been going around for a long time, and I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard you guys say it, but I heard the fans say it. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do your guys' fans consider you guys to be, and I want you to answer it first, as best to your ability, why do they consider Spanish Fly, S.A. Rich Rock, the foundation to Chicano rap? Why do you think?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe the fans. I know there's a big debate on that.
Right.
As far as the whole, maybe the foundation of Chicano rap, I don't know. Maybe this.
Speak up, brother. I need people to hear this.
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe they heard that stuff before they heard La Raza and all that. I don't know. I mean, I never claimed it. You know what I mean? Like, even Frank, like, we never were like, oh, we're gonna be the dopest Chicano. We were just making music, hip hop music. You know what I mean?
Right.
As far as this whole, Chicano rap debate,
right?
Who titled it and who's the first? And I know that certain people claim to be the Godfathers and all this and that, but I'm gonna be real. Like, I never said that, but I think the fans, they feel it or they know. I mean,
right.
If I'm humbled by that, I'll just say that. So,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I think that's probably the hardest street shit they heard at the time. So
there you go.
I'm just being real.
What do you think your fans are saying, and not pointing to somebody else, but they say, S.A. Rich Rock, Spanish Fly, Harbor area, Carson, you know what, Chicano Rap Foundation. Why do you think they say that?
Because it is. I mean, I just think it is. I mean, I got to give props to Richard Anaya, Rich Rock, love. Because
he was ahead of his time. Bro.
We had the vision to do something that basically, I remember seeing Duke of Earl. You ever see that? It's like a...
Yeah.
And I was like, this was like in '89. I was like, I want to be a cholo now. I don't want to do music. I want to be a cholo now. I want to be from my neighborhood. And
right.
89 and I just envisioned hearing a song like 6 in the morning.
Okay.
Or our Boys in the Hood, but cholo style. And I was like, Richard was the only rapper I knew. So I remember I told him, let's do it. Remember we were at Boo Boo's house?
Oh,
we were drinking 40s. And I was like, I got this idea. We're going to use 18 with the bullet, because I thought in my mind that was the most gangster sounding.
Of course. And to us it was.
Boo-boo.
And I think too, you know, you look at the history of Chicano rap, you look at Lighter Shade of Brown, their first song was TJ Knights. It was sort of like a
kind of
dance
pop
song. Then you look at Propados, their first song was Mexican Power. It's sort of like X-Clan, like Mexican Power,
right.
which was a dope song.
It's dope.
People thought that was us. I was like, man, they're tight, but no.
Right.
Then Frost, he was like, this is for the raza, you know, green, white, and red. And,
right.
And then we had 18 with the bullet, which was Cholo Street. And
That's a good analogy.
When you relate Chicano rap, the culture, low riding, way of talk, way of dress, your neighborhood, all that together, it comes together, and it's a new kind of art form. I don't know why they say that, but I'm honored that they do, and we'll take that title.
Okay. I just needed to clear that up, because a lot of people have said that about you guys. And I know I needed to make it clear that it wasn't you guys going around bragging about it, but that's what the fans were saying, and I needed to shed a little bit of light on that, because if I'm correct, I heard one of those tapes that was going around. I want to say either it was late '89 or early '80. I mean early '90, if I'm correct.
Right.
You know, when I started hearing that, it made sense to me when people said, because they were possibly referring to those demos that were out on the streets.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when that song came out, it was fitting. You know, and even though this is not a battle who takes the title, because once again, we're all one. I would like to think we're all one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's build this up together, instead of telling people, I was the first, you're the last, I'm the godfather, you're the godmother, or you're the grandfather, or whatever. Okay? But let's build it, and let's continue to move forward. So now, I'm going to start with you, David.
Yeah.
I know you're going to say, look at the documentary, but we need to let the fans know. Before we push this documentary, when is the last time you actually talked or seen Ese Rich Rock?
Man, I want to say probably last time I seen Rich was in maybe 90s. I mean, I'm
so
bad with dates, bro.
Okay, 94, 95, would you say?
Maybe a little after.
Okay.
Or maybe like 94, 95.
And that was actually the last time you seen him physically, correct?
Yeah, like seen him.
Okay.
I saw him on my block on Neptune Avenue.
Okay.
My homeboy Victor, one of the houses right there, we used to hang out. A lot of the homeboys would come through, and in his backyard we used to party. You know, drink,
Frank?
smoke weed.
Last time I seen him was it's been a while. I'm pretty bad with dates too. I don't want to get it wrong, but
see, I'm older than you guys, and I'm good with dates.
I'm bad.
I really don't. I mean, we actually, when we did the documentary, we kind of were there, and he had left or something. This was in 2016, and so I still have a good relationship with his brother Louis, and his dad's still there in Carson, Richard Anaya Sr. And you know, a lot of it. I talked to him on the phone, Richard, and I was like, "We're ready," you know, because Louis.
When is the last time you talked to him now?
Oh man, it'd be 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
What about you? Did you talk to him after that time you saw him?
After that, I didn't talk to him, man.
Okay. Now, for the record, he is still alive, correct?
He's alive.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay. When is the last time that you know, other than his father or his brother, when's the last time anybody has seen him?
Well, his dad sees him still, and he goes by the house and stuff, you know, and And yeah, they still see him.
Okay,
that's what we were trying to get him on his film.
Quite frequently, or
once a month. He said he sees him. Yeah,
maybe part 2.
Okay, or and as far as you guys know, do you know why he decided just to go away? Because it was almost. Let me tell you what I heard on the streets. Okay, it was almost like he just disappeared. Nobody knew where he was at. The last time I seen him, I want to say it was 94, 95, and he was right here on Hyatt Street. Okay, and he was hanging around out here with the dudes from the east side.
Right.
And he had shaved his head, and I remember I just saw his ears, you know. And they told me, hey, your boy's right there. And at first I said, who? And they said, your boy, Rich Rock. And I looked at him, and he had looked like he was either wasted on, I don't know if it was drugs or alcohol, whatever, but he just looked tore up. He was standing there wearing a white t-shirt. I think he was wearing like some Ben Davis. He had shaved his head or whatever. But that was the last time that I seen him in person, possibly around the time that you might have seen him.
Could have been.
And after that, it was almost like he just disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what this documentary is about. It's almost like the mystery of, if you will, a rapper that was in it to win it, and then he just disappears.
Yeah.
Now, let me start off with you. Do you know why possibly he just disappeared?
Man, you know, none of us can really say it because we're not in his head, right? We can all make assumptions. For me, you know, because Rich Rock, I mean, much love to Rich, man. That guy, he was a smart kid. I mean, high school, you know, algebra 2, played baseball. I was like, damn, I mean, he could do it all,
right?
You know? But then I remember, you know, then he got someone pregnant and family problems. I'm just saying, like, when I'm thinking about it, you know, we were young, we all smoked and, you know, some drugs, drinking. So if you mix that with issues that you grow up just being a young guy, a young kid, you know what I mean, teenage kid in your 20s, and so for me, maybe it was a lot, man. You know, kids and family, maybe family issues going on. To me, I think that might have been a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frank?
Yeah, you know, Tony, I'm kind of visiting some old memories. You know, it's a little deeper than just the music, because like with me, David, and Richard, our friendship was a little more strong. It was we were really good friends, man. And when you lose somebody like to the streets like that, it hurts. It's not just about the Spanish Fly or the music, man. It was it goes deeper than that. And I just see like a lot of the songs we were doing, he started actually living out, even though at the time we were talking about it. If he was saying, you know, smoking Sherm or something, he didn't smoke Sherm or just doing crazy stuff, man, you know. And we started reaping it. I've seen that firsthand, man. A lot of stuff we were talking about coming to play in his life, and I kind of regret it, man, because I should have had his back.
Okay.
Yeah, we got caught up. But you know what, Frank? I mean, when you're young like that, though, you know, you don't know any better.
Right.
You
because
know what I mean?
I do believe people knowing that song and people believing that, giving you guys that title of Chicano Rap Foundation, this could have went a lot farther.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For sure.
You know, do you think it might have been a case of a little bit too much too soon for him? Because, you know, there's a lot of youngsters that kind of blow the hell up. And I'm not saying he blew the hell up, but maybe he felt the weight on his back of the responsibility that he's got to go perform. He's got to come up with another record. Possibly, you said he had a kid, dabbling a little bit in drugs or whatever the case may be. That was possibly a little bit too much.
I don't think he ever seen it really, huh? He didn't really see the CDs, the CD when we were done with the Trust No Man. I don't think he ever really even got it copied, so did he?
He was actually gone before that.
He didn't want nothing to do with it. He was like, man, I don't care about that stuff.
Now,
at least that's how I felt.
Right. Now, why do you think that was? Because when I met him, that's all he wanted to do.
Oh, man. Yeah.
No,
oh, yeah.
So all of us. It's crazy.
So what do you think that turned?
I don't know.
That's why, like I said, only thing I could think about is all that shit. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that, what you mentioned, was part of it. Because, we had shows lined up with Cypress Hill coming up. I mean, that would have been huge, bro. You know, I have a flyer with it, you know.
Okay, I'm going to share something with you guys. The reason why I share that is this. I was 22 years old. I had already traveled around the U.S., okay? I had a nice Mercedes-Benz. I had my own apartment at the time in City Redondo Beach. I used to live right by the beach for at least a good year. I wanted to get away from the hood. I thought that would fix me, okay? I had money. I had money in the bank. I was signed to one of the biggest record labels in the world, which was Disney. I was touring. Okay.
Yeah.
Second to none, DJ Quick, AMG,
Right on.
DJ High C.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll be quite honest with you. I already had 2 kids, and that was possibly my most depressing time ever in my life.
You know what's crazy when you said that? Because, I mean, I've done shows after that, and with this whole hip hop thing, the thing that I love the most is production in my studio. The tours, the shows that I did.
Yeah.
Right.
I was lonely, bro. I don't really like it.
Right.
For me.
Right.
I don't know. Some people love it. Stage and I
You know, it's funny. One of the artists that passed away that really hurt me, believe it or not, was Prince. I love Prince. I grew up listening to Prince.
I liked him more than Michael, man.
Yeah. I read a quote from him that said this, that if I would have known that being rich and famous was going to cause me to be lonely, I would never have done it.
All right.
And it is. A lot of times we think that, well, give me that opportunity, give me that chance. You don't really know what's on the other side of the train tracks, man. Because that was one of my most depressing times ever, bro. And people used to ask me, why are you so depressed? You haven't. I was 22 years old. And for me, I thought it was a little bit too much too soon.
You know what? That's true, though. And that could have happened to Rich.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's a lot.
Or everything ain't running on all 4 cylinders.
True.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, there's some stuff that ain't right, and you're hurting because of it. Because you know you're better than that. You know, as far as your production or performing or whatever it may be at the time. So you feel like, man, you can't stretch yourself all the way out for everybody.
Yeah, I remember Albert Hughes, the Hughes brothers. Yeah, they were putting together that Menace to Society movie, and Albert Hughes, he contacted me and says, I need a track for Menace to Society. He drove all the way from his house to Redondo Beach, and I'll be honest with you, during that time that I was going through my little depression, if you will, drinking all the time, eating out all the time, buying clothes, buying shoes that I didn't even wear, you know. He comes to my house. I totally forgot that he was coming. Knocks on my door, and I had nothing to play him. I had nothing to play him because I wasn't inspired. I wasn't motivated. I just had a lot, you know. So that's why I kind of bring up that possibly might have been, or maybe he was afraid of change. I don't know.
That's like a mystery, man.
Yeah, it would be awesome, and it would be amazing if one day you guys actually ever get back together again, because I do know you guys would get booked. I do know you guys would get booked. So, but anyways, before we go to break, we know that there was, we're just going to touch on it before we go to break. We'll elaborate a little bit more on it when we come back. But there was a documentary done on Spanish Fly, which I thought was very, very interesting. And it was directed by Jamal, what's his last name? Holland?
Jamal Holland. Jamal
Holland, yes. USC graduate, took an interest to this story and said, we're going to get a budget and we're going to do a documentary. Yes. And I want to say this, okay? This is not a Mexican guy. This is the brother.
Right.
Okay?
Much love,
and
man.
he took interest in this story. Yes. Okay. And I'm thankful for people like that, you know, to shed light, because I know he had shared with me one time that there were people asking him, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamal, what is a black guy doing with a bunch of Chicanos, or doing a documentary on Chicanos?
Right.
He thought it was interesting.
Right on.
You know, and the documentary's out. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And it's subtitled Spanish Fly, correct?
Fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And elaborates more on you, Trix, and Esther Rich Rock.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, it's about how long would you say?
20 some minutes?
Yeah, half an hour almost. Yeah.
Okay, about a half an hour almost. I remember because I was there when you guys premiered it at USC.
Right.
And I thought it was great. I just thought it should have been a little bit longer, you know, because you guys are just barely, you know, getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
But you guys had to do it according to the budget.
Right.
I get it. Okay.
And I do want to say that we appreciate you.
Say a little bit louder, brother.
I appreciate you, Tone, for being in the documentary. Because
Well,
we reached out to people, you know, and that's what you talked about before, why the Latino or Chicano doesn't blow up, because of certain situations like that. So I appreciate you for being in it.
All good, brother. Because I know the guys, without mentioning them, you reached out to them and they pretty much just told you no.
Yes.
Okay.
That they're irrelevant in the hip hop.
Yeah, and you know, and these are Chicano rappers.
Yes.
We are supposed to be one. We are supposed to be united. We are supposed to make an impact, and yet we shoot each other down by not helping each other. Like, I never understood that.
I don't.
And the people that do make it, like I told this one guy, you know what? I created this platform so that we can have a voice. This one guy said, I already have my voice. And I said, in this game, there are no Lone Rangers, bro. I said, you know what? We all get to where we're going to get to with somebody else. Somebody else helps us along.
Right.
You know, but many of us just want to do our own thing. You know, look, bro, I'm 51 years old. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. So as much as people that I can help,
that's real.
I'm going to do it.
Right on.
You know, I want to lay a foundation for the next generation to come in, so that now we have open doors and we have a voice.
Yeah.
But so many people just want to keep it to themselves. I'm not going to do that, bro. I have history. I have a lot more history than a lot of people know, but I never go around tooting my own horn.
Right, right.
You know.
But at the end of the day, like you said, we can claim whatever, but at the end of the day, the fans are going to say what they feel.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
right.
so-
You're right. Okay, you guys, we'll be right back with that. Once again, somebody asked me, what did my shirt say? It wouldn't be LA without Mexicans, and that's the truth. Okay, you could ask anybody. It wouldn't be LA without Mexicans. There's Mexican guys from Wilmington, the Harbor area. We put Harbor area on the map. We'll be back with Spanish Fly, Echadas, Tricks, talk a little bit more about the documentary, what they're doing now, what their plans are for the future. So hang tight, text somebody, call somebody, let them know. And my boy, Mr. G from the city of Wilmington, Lawless, is going to be coming up soon. So stay tuned.
Growing up in the 80s, you know, DJing, turntablism, hip-hop in general was so competitive, you know, that we were always looking to hear what other DJs were doing so we could kind of gauge where our level was. And that's when I heard of guys like Joe Cooley and Tony A, and seeing the stuff they were doing, you know, the Rodium mixtapes, and Joe Cooley coming on KDAY. I was like, that's why I knew, like, that's how I got to be. That's who I got to, those were the guys I looked up to. Those were the guys that kind of set the mark for the DJ competitiveness in Los Angeles at that time. It never just ended with the DJing. It always would advance and, you know, just into producing. And these are the machines Tascam actually made, 4 tracks and 8 tracks, which allow you to take a standard cassette, pop it in there, and then record, you know, layering song after song. And that's the way guys like Tony A and Dr. J were able to make those Rodium tapes, was using a machine like a Tascam multi-track recorder.
Yeah, growing up in Southern California, we didn't have too many outlets as to where we can find new music. I mean, we had one radio station, you know, that sounded really staticky. And, you know, so, you know, when mixtapes circulated, you know, everyone was eager to see let's see what's on here. And when I finally ended up getting a hold of one of the Rodium mixtapes, it happened to be the 88 Boom and Bass, which I have a funny story about that. But yeah, Boom and Bass, 88 Boom and Bass, to me was just like groundbreaking. I mean, the way he was structuring those mixes, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I was 12 years old or 14, whatever I was at the time. We had no internet, no Google, so we didn't know. I thought the Rodium was a nightclub based on what I was listening to on those tapes. I mean, it sounded like Tony had 4 or 6 turntables set up, and he had records queued up, and he had Eazy-E and Ice Cube coming through and doing intros or shouting them out. I mean, as a kid, that's what I was envisioning, because that's what, you know, those tapes were painting a picture in my mind as to that's what I envisioned. So a few years later, when I came up on some money, I mean, the first major purchase I made as far as studio equipment would be, I would say, my Yamaha 4-track. I mean, until that day, I was still very much influenced as to the approach that Tony took in making those tapes. Because literally, I mean, he had a whole series of tapes, and a lot of them had duplicate songs, but that didn't matter, because each tape was presented and packaged and presented in a different fashion. So it's like watching 10 movies with the same actors, and you get something different out of each movie. I mean, that's how good these tapes were put together. And even back then, I mean, with the technology that was so limited, I mean, that took a lot of work. Funny story about 88 Boom and Bass, though, is one day I was getting ready to do a gig, and my friend came over to pick me up. He brought some guys who I didn't know who they were, but one of the guys gave me a tape. And again, back then, that's how stuff circulated. I mean, it's not like we had YouTube to find the next mix or anything like that. So I saw the tape. It had somebody's name, and it had their phone number. You know, fast forward, we get into the car. We're heading over to the gig. I had a couple drinks before I got into the car, and on my way to the gig, and I popped in the tape, and it was 88 Boom and Bass. I was like, this ain't Tony. I was like, this guy was flat out using Tony A's tape, and I don't know why he would do that, because Tony had, you know, drops and references to his name all over that mix, but yet this guy was still using that tape and putting his name on it and using it as a promotional tool, which to this day that's still frowned upon. You don't take other people's work and capitalize on it yourself. I mean, do your own thing. I mean, I respect everyone's hustle, but you don't do that. And even back then, I was really upset to where I had the guy's phone number. I ended up calling him and I gave him a piece of my mind. I mean, I was so livid that this guy must have thought that it was actually the Tony A calling him, telling him, giving him the business. But, you know, so Tony, I know it's almost 30 years later. You know, I apologize if you ever got into an altercation or if anyone approached you about some threats that may or may have not been made over the phone a few years back. But, you know, it's an unwritten code, and out of the respect I had, you know, I felt a personal obligation from one DJ to another to take care of that for you, man.
I grew up in Mar Vista in the 70s and 80s, 90s. Right around 88, I got my first Radio Shack mixer and started to learn how to DJ on some belt drive turntables. And one of my friend's brothers was a DJ already, and he made a copy of one of Tony A's tapes for us, and we just sat there and listened to it. How's he doing it? It's like 3 different beats going on at the same time with a different acapella. All the rappers that were big at the time, you know, needless to say NWA, but also like High C and those dudes, and Candyman would be on him on these tapes, doing alternate versions and personalized versions. It was just the shit, man. The composition was excellent on those tapes, and it really inspired me to step up my game. Thank you, Tony. Peace.
Yo, this is how I see it, Tony A, chilling at the Rodium with my homeboy Steve. Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch, the shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door, fresh to be this week across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy cause free. And the street to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing at least a grand.
Ice Cube getting dumb at the Rodium with the funky drum, and you know my man Steve can get some. With a fool like Tony A when he plays stupid dope shit by WA. You wanna spray? Dumb motherfuckers, no doubt. And sucker DJ, get the fuck out. Tony A.
What did you say your name was? What did you say?
Tony A. I have won 1 million battles.
Lights, cameras, action sound. Give me that mic, I'm about to go down.
Thinking of a master plan.
This story's funny. I met this girl and she had money.
Yo, welcome back everybody to Rodium Radio. Somebody had texted me earlier and had asked me, Tony A, he said, who have you ever worked with? You know, as far as Chicano rappers. Let me say this. In the mid-90s, I started working with Mellow Man Ace. Well, that's not Chicano rap. Somebody would say that. I understand that. I work with Frost. I work with Little Rob, Slow Pain, Nino Brown, my boy Lawless, JB. I got songs with her that, you know, were never ever released. I got songs with Tina Marie that were never released. I worked pretty much with every Chicano rapper in the 90s. Many of the songs never came out. Many of the songs I still have on 2-inch reels that never came out because either I never got paid or they never got a record deal. But I work predominantly with all of these Chicano rappers. So those who don't know my history, before you speak, first, you know, ask somebody, okay? Don't make any assumptions. you know. But I work with black rappers, I work with Mexican rappers, I work with everyone, and I welcome everyone. Most people just think all I ever did was High C. And for the record, I just wasn't High C's DJ. I actually produced that whole album. Everybody gave DJ Quick the credit. I produced that record. I'm Not Your Puppet, Sitting in the Park, Froggy Style, Leave My Crows Alone. On the second album, I produced half of it, okay? I went on to produce songs with Folsom, a group from Long Beach. From here, my boy Lawless, and we're going to get into all that. But just for the record, I had to clear that up in case somebody, you know, still wondering, you know. Anyways, back with Spanish Fly, It's a Daz, DJ Tricks. I had to say that, bro, because for some reason there were people that always like to go on YouTube, and I guess it floats their boat to say, what the hell have you done? You know, when you can actually Google me or look at my Wikipedia, look at my history, and find out that I'm not a new guy. You know, I've been around this business for a long time. I just don't like going around bragging about it. It's unnecessary, you know. So now, how long ago did your documentary drop?
Damn.
2016?
Yeah.
2016, yeah.
Okay, 2016, and it's available now on Amazon Prime. The reason why I want to promote it is because a lot of people still have not heard of it.
Right.
And I believe it's important to not only to the Chicano rap culture, but to other people that may be interested in this story of Rich Rock, Daz, and Tricks, that by your fans, you guys are considered Chicano Rap Foundation. You guys are not saying it, but your fans are. And it has been documented. There's not a lot of documentaries that you could find on, if you will, Chicano rap on Amazon Prime or on Netflix. There isn't.
Right.
So this is their opportunity to go on Amazon Prime and look up Spanish Fly and to view your guys' documentary. And I believe they'll be blessed by it because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
You know.
Yeah.
And something to point out, you know, Jamal, you mentioned Jamal, and then Dave was part of it. Another good thing that when you'll see when you watch it, it's not your typical, like, if there is other Chicano documentaries or whatever, I think ours is unique because it just shows the story of us growing up and just music, you know what I mean? Talking about music, and like you said, Rich Rock looking for him, and just a friendship with music. And it's not about, we're not in there, you know, busting cabs, shooting, having everyone faded. And it's not that type.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's what I like. I like the way it was made. So props to, you know, Jamal and the crew.
Dope. Anything you care to say about the way it turned out? Other than, I know we all agreed, and I'm sure Jamal agrees too, that it should have been a little bit longer, but that's as far as the budget took you guys.
Well, shouts out to Jamal Holland for putting it together. He's seen like a short clip I did on YouTube back in 2007. He's like, we need to make a film out of this. And I think it's good because it tells our history more in depth, and you know, it's touchy to me. I only seen it a few times because revisiting those old memories and feelings, and
there's footage and pictures of S.A. Rich Rock on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good, man. It's a real good film. I'm glad we were able to get that thing done, man, and document that part of the foundation of Chicano rap too. Because like you said, there's not a lot of films out there like that.
Right.
So we already got it out. So now people can't rewrite it.
Dope. Okay, now somebody asked me, who's the original Spanish Fly? Well, we know that there's only one. That's you three with S.A. Rich Rock. But I know they're probably referring to that after somehow when you guys went your separate ways. I know you started up Spanish Fly as well.
Right.
Okay. Can you? Who was a part of that?
Well, with that. Well, first I gotta say, you know, being part of the group with Rich Rock and Frank, I just thought it was something classic, you know. So I wanted to keep it going. So I got my boy Fino, rest in peace, that was part of the group.
Okay.
I got Johnny D.
Okay.
Big ups to Johnny D. I'm producing his EP right now. He's from Wilmington.
Okay.
And you know, the way I met him was that people would just tell me, hey, this guy from Wilmington, he's dope. You know, his lyrics, he's tight, blah, blah. So I heard him, put him on the crew, and then I had Ace, which is my nephew, as part of the group. So I kind of kept it going.
Okay. So do you think that's probably why they're referring to which one's the original?
No, I think it's something else. I think it's there's another, I guess is there a guy that rapped and they named themselves OG Spanish Fly or something like that.
Okay.
Because that's been going around. But
what do you think? Because I do see somebody named OG Spanish Fly. I didn't know if that was a part of your camp. I don't know if that was something.
It's not.
Okay.
I mean, I never heard the music.
Okay, yeah.
It's not.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, I never actually really even heard no Chicano rap.
Okay.
I think I heard Conejo or someone like that.
Okay.
I mean, I think, when I heard that, I was like, oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay.
But I never really,
he's dope.
I think I heard a couple songs by Little Rob, Summer Nights or something.
Oh, yeah, Rob.
Right.
Some of Daz's stuff, the new stuff. I never really, I'm more like New York.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No. I want to touch on that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when this thing started, when I say this thing, your crew, Spanish Fly, okay? Your rapper had a New York style, okay? Hip hop came from New York, from the Bronx, you know, and I've been there, the Cool Hercs, if you will, apartment complex building where hip hop began. Right. Okay, I've been there. To me, that's kind of like the Garden of Eden for hip hop. Everything flowed out of there.
You gotta know it. You gotta know your history.
And it touched all of us over here.
Oh yeah.
Now, when you guys started, that genre or that title wasn't out. Chicano rappers. Okay. Back then, with all due respect to him, didn't even call Frost Chicano rap. He was just a rapper. Ladder Shit Brown, they were just rappers. Right. And I get that. I know that you guys are Chicanos and you guys are producers, rappers, etc. If they want to give you that title, I know you guys embrace it. You guys don't have a problem with that.
No. Right.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that it wasn't referred to Chicano rap back then. So I kind of get it when you say, I like East Coast, I like this, because that was your upbringing.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Most definitely.
And when you talk to the majority of Chicano rappers today, you know, they'll tell you, oh man, my foundation was KRS. It was Rakim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people say, I remember I talked to Frank V, and he told me it was like Scarface, it was Ice Cube, you know, because we didn't have other Chicano rappers or other to look up to. So we had to create our own lane, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand it when people just call it Chicano rap. I get it, and I'm all for that. But when you guys started, my point is, you guys were never called yourselves.
No.
We're a Chicano group.
No, I mean I don't remember us. I mean, we grew up on, you say KRS-One. I remember Schoolie D. I remember you had that record, that 12-inch record.
LL's first two albums and all that.
I mean, I was a kid. I wanted to be from New York so bad, bro. I did. I'll never deny that.
Schoolie D was one of the hottest records that I liked.
We had some guys out here rapping it though, like I mentioned Knights of the Turntable and Egyptian Lovers' first stuff, and Ice-T.
Wasn't Knights of the Turntable on TV or something like that?
They had a
local
show,
Carson channel or something?
Monday Night Fresh.
Okay. Yeah, see, and that was our upbringing.
That's it,
So when people consider you guys Chicano Rap Foundation, do you guys embrace that? Are you guys okay with that?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I don't have a problem with it because
even though it's gangster rap, but
I don't have a problem with it because to me it's like you know, I'll never say fuck this and that. I personally, for me, I won't, because you know those fans kind of in a way made us who we are. So for me, I embrace it. You know, we didn't set out to create that. Oh, we're first Chicano. No, we're, you know, but to me, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I'm not going to diss it. You know what I mean?
I saw an interview when Jerry Heller and DJ Yella were on Geraldo Rivera. And DJ Yella said this, and they can Google this. He said, we never called it gangster rap.
Right.
He said, the media did. He said, for us, it was just reality rap.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what it was. Yeah. I mean, reality rap too was also the message Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I mean, that was our shiznit right there, you know. But anyway, so now what is Daz working on today? What can people expect from you?
A lot of production. I'm working on my own projects right now. But big shout out to my boy Johnny D of Spanish Fly. I'm working on his EP.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. I'm working on, there's this kid out of Carson named Shady Lokes.
Okay.
Big ups to Shady Lokes.
Yeah, Shady Lokes. I met him a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm working on his project. I'm doing some songs with him. And then my own projects that I got coming out. And then I got some stuff like there's like a production class that I have going on in schools. Good. You know, it's showing kids how to make production and stuff like that, and it's already in the school.
Okay, I'm gonna say it live right now because he's here. I want you to hook up with Misfit Soto.
No doubt.
Which to me is probably the hardest. I'm just gonna say the hardest Mexican right now in production.
Dope.
Period. You know what? People ask me, well, what is it you like about him? You think he's the best, the greatest? And I was like, no, he's just different.
Nice.
He is just different, and I love that about him. I went to the studio, hang out with him, and he was playing me some beats, and I was like, damn, dude, like that shit was
That's
fire,
tight,
bro. A real producer will not get upset or get mad or jealous or critique, but say that shit was dope, man. And he knows that. I need you to hook up with him. But
nice.
Now, Frank, what can people expect from you? Are you working on any kind of projects?
Oh man, constantly, man. SavingSoul.com, Saving Soul Records, Jamal Holland's album, Golden Gates coming out.
Jamal Holland is rapping?
Oh yeah, we had a couple of stuff out already. We got music videos on YouTube. I got my own studio, like David does, you know. So like we're just constantly in there, man. It's all fun, you know. Like we try to do a song every 3 months, but sometimes that don't work out because of life. But you go to the website, you'll see there's about 12 albums on there, you know, through the years coming out. So much stuff. I couldn't even mention everybody right now. I'm gonna leave everybody's name out. But I stay in there, man. I stay in there. Okay. That's what I do. I stay in there producing and just having fun with it.
See, and that's where hip hop started, was by having fun. That's what I miss about hip hop, when hip hop was fun. Today's, how many views can you get? How many likes can you get? What's the weirdest shit you can come up with? You know, that's where we're at today. You know, you know, people always tell me, "Hey man, did you hear about so and so? He's dope." Here's what I always like to say: if there was no social media, would I have ever heard of him? And the majority of the time they say no.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So you know what? Not only did people, pioneers, lay the foundation for this new generation, but I just hope that this new generation shows a little bit of gratitude to the people that laid the foundation, because you're eating because of these guys. You know, you're performing because of these guys, and you guys are the ones that think you're the hot shit. You know, so you know, and I don't down them, but that's just the way it is.
No, you're right, and I see a lot of guys eating, and I'm happy for it. You know, if we were a part of like setting that, you know, stage for them, hey, all love, you know, because that's the point.
It all works together. What were you gonna say? You had something on your mind?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, you know, something you said future, you know, that I would love to work on is like a movie. Spanish Fly, the movie.
Yeah, you were
telling me. I gotta
me.
put that out there now.
Yes,
you know?
Spanish Fly, the movie.
I'm gonna make that happen.
Okay. Any other shout outs you want to give? Where can people reach you? I know we have your Instagram up on the screen. And
I have a website, esedaz.com.
Esedaz, how do you spell it? Just
ESEDAZ.com.
Yeah, okay, and that's what you can reach
YouTube also.
Okay, YouTube.
SavingSoul.com, and give a shout out to my son. He's 27 now. FC Sounds or FC3. He's making some dope beats.
That's
working
good.
with some people from Idle Vibes from I think they're from Carson, right?
Yeah.
He's got some hot stuff. He got some fire, man.
Like
Check out his Instagram, FC3.
FC3.
And Wall Down, my boys from Lamita, and man, all kind of guys. See, I don't know why I even threw them out there, but I got all kind of stuff coming out, man. Constantly. Gotta stay with the fire.
And anything else you want to say before?
Yeah, just MD, my nephew. He does like that new EDM music and shit.
Okay.
He's pretty dope, but I just want to shout him out because he hooks up my studio. He did my wiring, all that. The kid is just nice, so just, you know.
Dope.
MD.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and it's probably gonna give him time to think about it. Okay. But I'm going to ask you one question before we get out of here. And my boy Lawless is here. He's been impatient. He's drank like 6 beers already. And he wants to invite. Just playing. Give me your favorite song that has been out this year.
Damn. This year.
This year. Give me one song.
You're making me think hard. This year, there's got to be a new song.
Yeah, hurry up, man. You got about 10 seconds.
Damn, I can't really name you a song. I could tell you an artist I listen to.
Okay.
Dave East.
Okay.
I like his music.
Frank.
You got me on that one, man. I know what you're trying to prove, but nah. I'm still stuck on that old stuff, man.
Okay. You know, somebody usually asks me, what do you bump? Today I was bumping the Vapors.
There you go. That's hot.
There you go.
So, anyways. Okay, you guys. Once again, Spanish Fly documentary, Amazon Prime. And since we're on documentaries, this is the 3rd week that the Rodium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY has been out. You could reach it at or stream it at DOCUMIXERY.com. The response that we have been getting has been overwhelming. Epic, 5 stars, 3 hours, but I want more, etc. So I want to encourage you to go check it out. I even told this one guy, if you don't like it, I'll even give you your money back. and he messaged me back and told me that he loved it. So I just want to encourage you guys to learn a part of West Coast hip hop. The if you will, this was done in memory of Stevie YANO, honoring him. The Rodium Swap Meet in the city of Gardena, directed from a kid. I'm no longer a kid, but from a kid that grew up in the city of Wilmington, who had Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Quick, High C all come to his house to rap on my mixtapes. And now we have brought this onto the screen, if you will, unlimited streaming. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. So I encourage you once again on the apparel. This would eventually, I think in a couple of days, this shirt will be on my website. Wouldn't be LA without Mexicans. And that's just the truth. We all know who said that. So we're going to take a little break and we're going to come back with Mr. G from Lawless. Take us away, Johnny boy.
Breakbeat Lou, take one.
Well, my name is Luis Flores, aka Breakbeat Lou. I'm the co-creator of the infamous Ultimate Breaks and Beats compilation, which was a tool that's used in the 80s and 90s as a tool for DJs and then a tool for producers, from everybody from Marley Marl, Premier, DJ Quick, Dr. Dre, Dilla, Kanye, everybody that you could think of that did hip hop in the 90s and has that boom bap sound most definitely got the kicks and snares from our compilation. And the best way that I can describe hip hop is the essence of the grittiness of the hood. And I say we were instrumental for keeping hip hop, because without our compilation, most of the canon break beats and the break beats that became so infamous with records when I've been able to be obtained unless we released the records we released. So, God bless Breakbeat Lenny that's no longer with us, and my man Kev Harris for doing the covers. But, UBB is most definitely the Bible for 90s hip hop, for sure.
Yo, once again, welcome back to Rodium Radio. Once again, I encourage you to go to DOCUMIXERY.com and unlimited streaming. The Rodium mixtape DOCUMIXERY. It is based on the Japanese vendor from the city of Whittier. Once again, sharing his story. This man passed away from a freak accident 5 years ago, and I took it upon myself. This was a personal burden to bring this to everyone, his story, so that his name, Stevie YANO, would not get lost in West Coast hip hop history. This is the part of history that a lot of people have never shared, never talked about. It involves Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E. I like to call it the prequel to Straight Outta Compton. But without further ado, one of my own good friends from the city of Wilmington, the Harbor area, Mr. G, Lawless. Thank you for coming, brother.
Going down, brother.
Chilling, man. G, I know we only have a little while. You grew up here in the city of Wilmington, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Is this where you grew up at?
Yep.
Okay, but now you live where?
I live in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, now what took Mr. G from Wilmington to Texas?
The choice to live a better life, brother.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Cali's too expensive, and I mean, Texas, it's like everybody's going there now because the house market's just like cheap, and you get like a lot of bang for your buck.
Okay.
So,
and over here, you're pretty much paying for the weather.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're
And a
paying.
room about this size, probably like $3,000, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, now, I met you, G, because we only have a short time, and I do want to say that when you do come back, I want to book you for a longer interview because you're here for Thanksgiving and visiting your family.
That's right.
Okay, but next time you come, please let me know ahead of time because I want to book you for a full interview.
Okay.
You grew up here in Wilmington. Who would you say were your early inspirations, if you will, for rap?
For rap, I want to say like the first thing that really grabbed my ear was like the early Ice-T music. You know
Early
what I mean?
Ice-T music, okay.
Yeah. And like my favorite album from him is a Power album.
Power album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And at that time I was probably like, I don't know, maybe like the 10th grade, I want to say.
Okay,
You know what I
10th
mean?
grade. So around that time is when you said pretty much I want to start rapping?
Well, I was already writing lyrics.
Okay, around
but
what
I was
age
like,
would you say you started writing lyrics?
probably like 16, 17.
Okay, now
I was kind of in the closet with it, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Okay.
I was like, I don't want anybody to hear what I'm writing about, but it was a start, you know what I mean?
Okay. Now, who would you say other than the Power, who did you see, who did you hear maybe that when you said, I think I want to start writing? Was there anyone before possibly Ice-T, or was it just his stuff and then from there you just began to?
I think I've always been creative because I used to like to do art. I was into like the graffiti scene when it first came out. I used to break dance. I used to pop. So I was always inspired at a young age. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So that's
Pretty
kind
much,
of where it sparked from.
A lot of the elements of hip hop was, part of them is b-boying, breaking, popping, rapping. Some of it is graffiti, and us being from the hood, we always rolled. You know what I'm saying? So that's b-boying too. So, so now I remember when. Okay, share with us a little bit of your history because before you did the Lawless, you were the Outlaws.
Exactly.
Okay.
We were the Outlaws.
When did that start, and who was a part of the Outlaws?
The Outlaws was a group made up of me, my homeboy Rock. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rock. He runs South Bay Tattoo.
Okay.
Okay. So it was me, him, his brother Shotgun, and one of my homeboys named Sapo. Yeah.
Okay.
But his rap name we used to call him a cue ball.
Okay, so how many rappers would you say were?
Two
rappers, so you were one of them.
Yes.
Okay, did you guys have a DJ at all?
Yeah, that was Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did that last before you went to Lawless?
It lasted, the Outlaw thing lasted, I think it died before it even got going. That's the thing. I mean, we were always trying to dibble and dab in the music. We had a 4-track, we had this Yamaha beat machine, and we also had a sampler. And we used to make all kinds of tracks at Rock's pad. And he was kind of like the quarterback. His brother was kind of like the engineer because he knew how to run everything.
Okay.
And Rock basically taught us the basics of like writing and everything.
Okay.
So once I met up with these guys, because we used to all go to high school together, and that's when I started like, okay, these are the stuff that I've been working on.
Okay.
And he's the one who kind of was like, you know what, it's supposed to be 16 bars, 8 bars. And
That's what I was going to.
Yeah.
Because most rappers, when they start, there's no bars. They just rap all the way to the damn beat.
So that's why I kind of kept it in the closet for a minute. You know what I mean?
Okay. So now, I remember getting a demo. It was a CD demo. It had the song "The Enemy." Mm-hmm. And can you name a couple of more songs that were on there?
It was "The Enemy." It was a song called "How Lovely," and there was another song. There was another 2 songs on there that I forget what their names are because it's been so long, and I don't even have any of that stuff anymore. But yeah, I mean, at that time, gangbanging was at a full-time high, and we were with it. So
now, yes, okay. Now, when I first heard that song, "The Enemy," and everybody knows I'm not going to get into the lyrics, okay, I remember when you brought that song to me, I said, look, G, you're going to have to perform this song sooner or later. Either you trim down some of those words to those other neighborhoods, because they were the enemy.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay? Or if you go ahead and you perform this song, those enemies are going to come looking for you at the shows.
Exactly.
You understood that this was a show business now.
Yes.
This wasn't a hood. You know, sometimes we think we can take the hood to the stage.
Yeah.
And you end up getting killed.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
look at all the rappers that already died. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Now, on that CD, that demo, that was the Outlaws, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Who were the rappers once again? You?
Me and my homeboy Sapo.
Sapo.
Yeah.
Now, did he have another name?
Yeah, well, Hever was his real name.
Okay, Hever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we won't get into why he had to depart, but it came to the point where he had to make an exit.
Yes.
He left the group, and then you just took the role of
the lead rapper.
The lead rapper.
Yes.
How long? I mean, so now from Outlaws, you became Lawless.
Yes.
Who came up with that name?
Hever.
Okay.
Hever.
Now, was that already in the works to change the name?
No, it's one day. It's the thing is like this, because when he had a bounce, he had a hat that said Lawless on it, and we were the Outlaws at the time.
Right.
So when it all hit the fan and the group broke up, I ran with that name, Lawless. For the reason is because it was connected to the Outlaw name.
Okay.
And since he wasn't going to be like in the group anymore and everything kind of fell apart, we decided to make a brand new start, and we ran with Lawless.
Okay.
It still meant the same thing.
Now, let me say something, because when I first heard that CD, I'm not going to lie to you. Here's what went through my mind. Holy shit. These guys are gangbanging at an all-time high. Seriously.
Yeah.
And that tape, or should I say that CD, is still legendary around here, bro.
I know. I still hear it.
Okay. Now, I will say this. I know somewhere amongst my CD collection, I still have it.
What?
Yes. And people still hound me. Do you have it? I'll give you $100 for it. I'll give you $50 for it. You know, and I just haven't really dug into it because I have a lot of CDs. But I will say this, that was legendary around here. And when you approached me and said, we want you to produce our record, that was one of the songs that I had to talk to you about first.
Yes, I remember.
Because I said, gee, are you sure you want to do this?
No, and we did. I mean, we cut it down, but we still ran with the majority of the song.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. And I remember your other partner that was funding the project, he approached me, I'll give you this much, we'll go ahead and do it. To me, it was an honor to go ahead and do it. You know, a lot of people don't know that Lawless album had 10 songs. I produced 9.
Yes.
And Tony G produced 1. I think it was the side track 1.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there were other songs that didn't make that album, like Some Girls.
Yeah. Some Girls, we end up giving it to Thump.
Okay. And then I produced Bed Drama.
Yeah, Bed Drama.
Which I brought Daza in, the Low Rider Car Show Queen, to do the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, now, we did 10 songs. The reason why I bring that up is because when your partner who was funding the project paid me, when that CD came out, I was only given credit for 4 songs.
That sounds familiar.
And his name was pretty much on all the tracks that he produced them. You know, when I brought that up to him, he later on said, oh, it was a mix-up. It should have never been like that. Okay? Cool, I don't have a problem with that. But here's my thing. Just give credit where credit is due.
Of course.
Because people today still ask me, hey, your name's not on those tracks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it in front of you.
Yeah.
I produced 9 of those songs.
Of course.
Okay.
I still remember all that stuff. And you produced some on the second album. So
yes, exactly. And believe me, it was an honor and a pleasure to be working with you guys. We did have one of my favorite songs on there was Here's to You. It had a Frost on it.
Yeah, it had Slow on there.
A Slow Pain.
And it was a song that we got from that Here's to You from Sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember. And we had such a great time. We recorded at SKANLESS Studio, Steve's studio.
Yes.
You know, around what year did that album come out? Do you remember?
That Here's to You album, I want to say was like, it was like a span from like the mid 90s to like 2003. But that album must have been put out like, I want to say like in 97 maybe.
Yeah, like 97. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. And then we worked on the second album. I think I only did half of the second album. If I hear him, I'll know.
Yeah.
You know, ALT was on some of them. I think he was on, was it Love
versus Hate?
Love versus Hate.
Yes.
That's right. Nino Brown.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Saint or?
That was ALT.
ALT, okay.
ALT the Saint.
Nino Brown, I think he had another name, if I'm correct.
They called him. I don't know exactly all the names that they've called him, but at that time he was going. Well, that was his real name.
Okay.
They just call him Gib.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But he was on there. Frost was on there. Slow was on there. I was on there, and then I think we didn't get Little Rob into the third album. But
right, because I remember I did 2 songs with Little Rob. I remember he came down. I just never knew where those songs ended up at.
Yeah.
You know. Now, the first album drops. Under what label did that album come out on?
That one came out on Eastside Records.
Eastside Records. Do you remember who?
The oldie records, you know, the ones with the Eastside Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on that label.
And, how did you guys get a deal or get distribution through them?
We got distribution, I think, through Southwest, but all that was done through Bill Walker. Because the same thing as you talked with the guys from Spanish Fly, when we first took them our first stuff, they said the same thing to us. That's too street. That's just, I mean, we like the image, we like everything that you guys are showing us, but if you can come up with something that's more commercial, like something that I can put on the radio.
Right.
And he's like, I'll hook you guys up with the record deal. So that's when we did Some Girls, Bed Drama, and that was our first little way into the game. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, I'll break it down a little bit and I'll make some bubble gum. And in return, I'll flood the album with all the stuff I like to do. You know what I mean?
That's what you got to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I did, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of like what Puffy did with Biggie. He had to do with that Juicy.
Yeah.
He had, and then, you know, Biggie let...
Well, once you get your name going, then you can come out with whatever you want. They're going to want to hear it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. And the second album, was it under Eastside Records as well?
It was under Eastside Records as well. But at the same time, we were working on a project where we wanted to do our own record label. And it was Cashflow Records. And at the same time, we had our own production company, which was a Bomb Sack Productions.
Okay. I remember that.
Yeah, Bomb Sack Productions.
Now, the third album comes out. Do you remember the name of the third album?
The third album is called The Wild Wild West.
Okay, that one. I don't think I did anything, or maybe...
At that point, we're already buying tracks from different producers.
Okay.
And stuff like that. In between the second and the third album, we put out that West Coast Gambinos.
West Coast Gambinos
compilation. That was like in '99.
I did that song with, if you remember, I think it was Nino Brown and JV in the county jail.
Yeah. That was a cut.
Yeah, you know what? And I wasn't even giving credit on that song.
Hey,
you know,
you got to talk to the investor.
Yeah. Well, again, you know,
I hear you.
It was a mix-up again.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's the story all the time.
It was a mix-up, but every time the mix-up happened, his name ended up in the mix-up.
I mean, it was a good mix-up.
Of course. Of course. So a lot of times when I tell people what I did, I'm just glad you're here so that you can kind of confirm.
I'll validate. I'll validate. A lot of that stuff, he put his name on it as like the writer just to get credit and to get like money, I guess. You know what I mean? And since he figured, well, I'm investing in all this stuff, then I should get the bigger cut.
I understand.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it was. You know, but I mean, then again, I mean, it is what it is. That's the main thing about the rap game was it's a shady business, bro. It's a shady business. It's cutthroat, and that's the reason I took a long hiatus, because it was kind of like a turnoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and me too. I took like a 10 to 12 year layoff, and that's kind of my fault as well, because I took time to raise my family, to invest in my kids.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because if I don't, and if you don't, who is?
Yeah, that's right. The streets.
Yeah, the streets.
The streets will raise them, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So now there's a real popular rapper out of Houston, Texas, and he goes by the name of SPM.
Yes.
Now you work with SPM. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, that was on a Kid Frost album?
That was on Kid Frost's, I think it was a double CD that he was putting out with Celeb Entertainment.
Okay.
They had a little studio up in Burbank that we'd go out there to and work.
Okay, and you did a song. Do you remember the name of the song?
Yeah, it's called Los Catrachos.
Los Catrachos, okay. Yeah. Did you guys ever make a video for that?
No.
Okay. Now, it was you on the first verse, if I'm correct, SPM, And who else was on there?
There was another one of his boys. His name was Low G.
Okay.
That's what they used to call him.
Okay, but Frost was on the chorus.
Yeah, Frost was on the chorus.
Okay, and it was Frost album. Okay. How was it working? Because we all know what happened to SPM.
Yeah.
Whether innocent or guilty, that's not for us to decide. But I want to talk about his music side. Okay.
All right.
How was it working with him?
I thought his voice was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? He had a nice little textured voice. Kind of sounded like an Eazy-E, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he had a little flow. As far as his lyrical content, I'm not going to say it was like dope, but it was catchy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can move records. So, I mean, that's what a lot of people were into.
Now, when you worked with him, did he had already taken off? Like, you know, was he already like? Because people consider him the star of Houston, Texas. Was he already there yet, or was he still climbing the ladder?
I'm going to tell you like this. He was at that point. He was about to take off. He was bubbling. He was about to blow.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
And you guys recorded that song out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had drove all the way down here from Houston.
Wow.
Yeah, just to work with Frost on his album in the studio.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but everybody was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was Frost was there, Baby Bash, of course, Nino Brown, So Pain.
Is that possibly when Baby Bash and Frost?
Yeah.
I mean,
and SPM hooked up. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, was that the only song you've ever done with him?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I might have done one or two, but they never got anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That was the main one, right?
Okay. When you found out about him blowing up, were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because when we did shows in Houston, that was the whole talk. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, this was about to blow. You know what I mean? It wasn't a surprise because we used to go out there and he had a big following. You know, he had whole Houston on his back. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Man.
So yeah, so it was just like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Now let me ask you this: when you first started doing shows for your first album, how did it feel, man, performing? You know, songs that you pretty much came up with in the hood, you know?
It felt kind of weird at first because I was never a rapper. You know what I'm saying? It was work for me to kind of sit there and get like direction and stay focused and, you know, kind of, because I can rap along to any song, like just like they were talking about earlier, like, you know, the Radio album from Al Akuja, I can rap along with it. But as far as sitting there and actually doing the rap and, you know, coming to my own stuff, it was work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, I was into it, but I'm not going to say it came easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, I always try to do my best as far as in everything I do. So, I mean, if you listen to the albums from like the first album to the last album, I mean, you could see my style or my skills getting sharper and sharper. You know what I mean?
I remember when we started working on the second album, I saw your style. If I'm looking for the right word, that your skill, progressing a lot, man. And I was like, okay, that's the guy right there that I've been looking for. Because I still thought on the first one, I thought it was dope, but possibly a little bit of Little Green.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And as a producer, you always try to bring the best out of the artist that you're working with. That's why it's hard for me to accept when a guy emails a beat.
Yeah.
There's no chemistry between that person.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just a beat. I remember I would ask you, what do you think about this? Oh, I like that. What do you think about that? And then you had some stuff to choose from.
Yeah.
Then I would make a beat just for you.
Yeah.
That fit you, you know. But I had fun working with you and doing all that, man. Who are some of the artists that I might have named them all? Any artists that you might have worked with that I didn't mention?
I worked songs with Baby Bash, and he was doing great. I did songs with And Too Deep. I did songs with the Funky Aztecs. They're out of Vallejo. They've also done songs with Tupac, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah. And man, I worked with a lot of those artists that were finally broke through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Frost and his old camp, Slow and all them. So yeah, it was a good run.
Now let me. Without mentioning any names, was there ever some rappers that you work with that you were like, never again?
Let me see.
Let me give an example. I've known rappers that I wanted to work with, and I reached out to them.
Yeah.
And this was in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
I provided the studio time. I provided the musicians. I provided the, you know, back then you had to buy 2-inch reel.
Yeah, I remember.
I provided the engineer. I did everything. Just show up at this time. And they would show up like 5 or 6 hours later. Constantly, And after a while, I was like, that's it, man.
Yeah, I got you.
That's it.
Pretty much everyone I worked with was about the studio, you know what I mean? That's where they like to be. So they were usually on time. Now, as far as their work ethic, they might have partied too much that day, you know what I'm saying? Or they might have wanted to focus on getting high instead of making music.
Right.
And I was always the opposite. I was always like, let's take care of business first.
Right.
And when we're done, then we'll smoke a little bit, then we'll drink a little bit, and that'll be a wrap. You know what I mean? But as far as like the partying before the sesh, come on.
Okay. Now, off that first album, Here's to You, what is your favorite song on there?
The Here's to You album, I think my favorite song was El Corrido.
El Corrido.
Yeah, and I made that with you.
Yes. Off the second album, what would you say possibly your favorite or the one that stands out to you the most?
At that time, I was making a lot of stuff, and I wanted to like kind of open up other avenues. So I started doing like different concepts of songs.
Okay.
So out of the second one, I think on that second one, I have a song called Estilo Frío.
Estilo Frío.
Yeah, you made that beat as well.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of Spanish guitar in it.
Yeah.
And it just has that sound like from the first freaking beat that hits.
Yes.
I mean, it already grabs your ear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's funny, man, because that's probably my favorite off the second album. The only thing that I regret was that I didn't get a better mix.
Okay.
As a producer and as an engineer.
Yeah, I got you.
Because you wanted that bass line to hum and you wanted that kick to come in.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that I got that. I feel that it was rushed.
Yeah.
We had to finish it and, you know.
Yeah, but I think it still sounded great. But then again, at that time, I wasn't really into engineering or trying to produce or anything. I just wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I mean, I used to like to hang out by the board and everything just to learn and see, you know, what the whole deal is about.
Right.
But as far as that, yeah, that might have been one of my favorite songs on there.
Okay. Now, do you still keep in touch with any of these guys, Frost, Brown, Slow Pain, any of these guys?
You know what? I try to reach out to some of these guys on social media, and it's always like, to me, it seems like it's ran by a robot because I never get a real response. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, well, whatever. You know, but the only one that I really talk to on social media is ALT the Saint. He's the one who's kind of, I mean, he posts his real stuff. He's still out there. He's like a regular, just like me and you, just like a regular person. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, some people have gone Hollywood.
Yeah, of course.
Or they're a legend in their own mind. You know.
I hear you.
And I don't like dealing with those guys. I really don't. The reason why I reach out to them. A couple of guys, I released a message on YouTube saying I reached out to the Chicano rappers. And I got a couple of idiots that message, oh, they don't want to fuck with you because of this, because of that. First of all, you don't know my history. I've already worked with these guys.
Yeah.
These guys were supposedly considered friends, okay? And they tell me, whenever you need me, so I reach out. And they give me all of, I got to save a cat from a tree.
Yeah.
Or, my SIM card is tripping. That's why I haven't been able to answer. And that's why, I'm good. Now, let me tell you why I reach out to them, G. I reach out to them because the fans want to see me interview them. They always interview so-and-so, interview so-and-so, interview. It isn't because I really want you here, bro.
Right.
But it's because the fans
are asking.
Yeah. It would be like me DJing and I don't like this record, I don't like this record. But you know what? That record's going to make people dance.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play it.
Exactly.
So I'm playing to the crowd. I reach out to these guys because people want to see me interview you. So if you don't, you know what? Then you are literally cheating your fans.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you know what? I ask your fans not to support you. Because those fans made you who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell them.
Of course.
And if you don't want to give them, what they want from you, don't support these guys anymore.
Right.
So, and eventually you'll see who they are because they won't be on the show. You'll see everybody else that I said yes. And minus so-and-so. So just X him off your Christmas list. So anyways, G, what can we expect from you? Because I know you'll be here for a couple of days. Then you're shooting back to Texas.
Yes.
Okay, I wish you didn't live out there because I think we can work it, and I don't want to shoot you email beats.
I hear you.
But is there anything? Are you dabbling still into the music?
Yes, I just started to dabble again. I was doing it after the Lawless 3 album when we had a fallout with our investor, and I started doing my own thing with all the artists that I met along the way. And since he kind of funded the ride, it was on his dime, I made sure that I kept in contact with all the producers that I've worked with along the way. And we kind of traded work for work. So I'd go rap on their stuff and they give me beats and I'd be able to record in their studio. So that kind of stuff happened. And then I did a little group called All Skills. And I was working out of my garage. This when I lived right here on the east side on McFarland. I don't know if you hear about an artist. He's already starting to make a move right now. He's young. His name is Baby Bounce. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, he came to me before he was doing the OKM stuff, and my boy Stevie brought him by, and I had him. I had him come to the pad, and I heard his voice, and I was like, this kid got a voice. Okay, and then he had flow, and he had nice delivery. And he was young. At the time, he might have been like 14 or 15 years old.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, man, you can come by anytime you want. I got a studio here. I mean, we can rap. So it was him and my other nephews who were kind of sharpening their skills, and he ended up being a pretty dope rapper.
Well, he's got a huge following, as a matter of fact.
Well, he stuck with it. That's why. He stuck with it, man. He was determined. And that's what I liked about him. And I mean, I always just tell him, look, man, here we touch everything. That's why the name of the group's called All Skills. We produce, we rap, we do our own artwork. We do everything ourselves. We're all around. So if you're going to come here, you're going to mess with everything.
Right.
Bottom line. So when you get out there into the rap game, I mean, you're going to be fully equipped. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he was about. And I mean, shouts out to a Baby B, because he's still out there smashing.
That's dope, man.
You know what I mean? He's
That's
still
dope.
out there smashing.
Where can people reach you if they want to get at you, possibly work with you, talk music, whatever?
I haven't came up with any social platforms or anything like that where they can reach out to me yet, because I'm just getting started, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm planning to do a lot of little projects with my son. I mean, he wants to sharpen his skills. He's out there. He has the desire to be a rapper, but I mean, he's still going to need some work. He reminds me a lot how I was when I first met you. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, he has a desire, but he needs that drive. You know what I mean? And I mean, meanwhile that I work with him, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what. When you're ready, create Instagram, a platform where people can reach you. Where it's dedicated to music, artists, beats. So let me know, and we'll promote it on here. Me and my team created this page to give people a voice, to give people a platform, because along the way, there's a lot of people that don't want to help. And and I do want to give a shout out to those that do help. Yeah. And it almost seems like the people that do help us are not even Mexican. Yeah. And we need to look out for each other, man.
Exactly.
So I will definitely love to promote it as soon as you're ready. And I definitely want to hear some new stuff from you. Any shout outs you want to give? Because we come to our time. But once again, I want to invite you back. Yeah. So we can go a little bit deeper. But any shout outs you want to give to anyone?
Well, just to all the fans out there who continue to support my music. I mean, pretty soon I'll probably release something new. It ain't going to be the same old stuff that y'all used to hear, that I used to put out back in the day. I mean, it's going to be reality based, but it's got a new little flavor. It's mostly kind of old school hip hop beats. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of direction I want to go in. I want to take the old school back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to put modern day stuff on there, modern day sounds and beats, stuff like that. But I mean, basically, I want to give rap its content that it had back in the day. Yeah. And not just put out quantity, but quality. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put out a record every 3 months and just say whatever I think is catchy. I want to put something out that you're going to like, that you're going to hear. You're going to be able to relate to. Right. You know what I mean? All
right, brother. Thank you, Mr. G, for coming.
Thank you, Tom.
Mr. G from the city of Wilmington, the Harbor area.
That's right.
And here's where I give my shout outs. I want to thank once again Spanish Fly, Esa Daz, Esa Rich Rock, wherever you're at. You're always welcome here. DJ Tricks, Jamal Holland, the director, the creator behind Spanish Fly documentary, available on Amazon Prime. My boy G from Lawless, formerly known to Outlaws. And I want to give credit where credit is due. This would not be happening if it wasn't for my good friend, the man behind the wheel, John motherfucking Elkins. I'd like to give him credit because he makes all this happen. He actually did this shirt. Okay, so if you guys want to order, it'll be available on our website, DOCUMIXERY.com. It wouldn't be LA without Mexicans, and you all know that's real. Okay, I also want to give a shout out to my boy Misfit Soto. You can reach him on his Instagram. Many of you guys already know where to reach him at. I want to give a shout out to DG Daniel Jones, DG Media Clips. Boomer did it, The Remedy Yard, Roger Mera, Roger Live, Wiz1, Kerry Fujita, South Bay Drones. I want to give a shout out to Sandy Pants. You can reach her at her new YouTube page, Sandy's Insights. So subscribe to that. We talk about supporting. We need to support each other. Sandy's Insights on her YouTube page. She has her own podcast. Support her on that on every Sunday. If I'm missing anyone, please forgive me, and I'll give you a shout out next time. My son, B-SKANLESS. Once again, this platform was created to give you guys a voice. Okay, Rodium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY, available at DOCUMIXERY.com. Tomorrow, this is important. Tomorrow I am releasing the flyer for next Wednesday's interview. Tomorrow, we are going to start now doing a Sunday show, same time, 7 o'clock. Sunday show would be the flyer will be available Friday. We will promote Sunday show on Friday. You are not going to want to miss my first interview. This guy is a bodybuilder. He's a bodyguard and a rapper, and it makes an interesting story. Okay, he will be on Sunday. I will promote him on Friday and on Sunday morning. But tomorrow's flyer will be for next Wednesday. You're not going to want to miss next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I have the guy coming in that is responsible for producing the best diss record ever produced. It ain't Nas and it ain't Jay-Z. Okay, so that narrows it down. You don't want to miss it. Once again, Tony A in the building. Thank everyone for tuning in. See you guys Sunday. And have a blessed Thanksgiving. And I'm out.
Hey folks, it's your boy Alonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, and I'm kicking it live with my man Tony A. Check out his latest documentary on DOCUMIXERY.com. It's the bomb. It's all about my man Steve YANO and his contribution that he created from the Rodium swap meet that's still alive right here on Redondo Beach Boulevard. Check it out, y'all. DOCUMIXERY.com. My man Tony A. Much love, y'all. Much love, Steve. Peace.